Hi guys, Igor again. Welcome back to the next round of creating the best TODO app. Let's go. What we have done the last time, we have just set up everything, created get endpoint and post endpoint to create new TODO without any exception handling. All in the memory, of course, without proper layers. We have all the code is in the one class, but it is alright right now. We will move from it later. And we have one integration test to verify that our code works as expected. What we should do next? I would say that we need to handle exceptions properly. So I'll create a test to verify that create post method is returning meaningful exception when we are sending invalid TODO with the invalid schema. So let's create a test and call it should return meaningful exception given invalid TODO schema, something like that, or maybe given TODO with invalid schema. Yeah, and it will be almost like that. We send post to this endpoint, but here we will have something so multi-line string and something like one good field like name and unknown one like description x integer, something like that. And okay, here we will have response. And what do we expect, guys? We expect to have, I would say, code should be 400. So it is but request and body. We should have something like that. Yeah, actually, what do we expect? Expected response should be app response, because we have an object for that, of failure, but with error. So here with the application package, let's create API errors class, and we have constants for errors here, for API error. Very good team. Okay, so this one I would say invalid body. It will be enough for now. So public static final invalid body. Okay, and here we just use this constant invalid body. Okay, and let's call it should fail. Yes, it failed. And what do we have? Yeah, we have something from Jackson, something here, we don't know. It was thrown here. So two things. First is that we are not catching exceptions here, so some default exception handler is doing that for us and from the Java library. So we should register our own, and it's done like that. Exception, app exception. Here we'll catch all exceptions, and here we will handle it. So what do we have here? We have exception and the context. And what we can do with that, we have a few cases here. So exception that it is thrown by the client, and exception that is thrown by the code somewhere lower that we don't control, like from a library. So for the latter case, let's create unknown error, because we have no idea what happened. It should never happen, but it can, as always. Okay, and for that case, I would say that we should create another exception, like to JSON exception, or maybe not actually. Yeah, we don't need that here. Here we can just say we can catch any exception here, and let's just throw new API, the best to do app exception with the error of invalid value. That. Okay, and one more thing, let's create a logger. Why are we doing that, guys? To log exception, not to return them to the clients, but so that we have more information on the console, in the console, what has happened. Okay, so here's how we create a logger, and it will just write, because we are using simple logging, simple implementation of logging facade, it will just write everything to the console. But the API is better than simple system out print line. It has pretty limited API, and with the logger we can log, we have better API to log things. So here, for example, we say log warn or warning, warn problem while parsing JSON body, for example. And yeah, we'll log warning, we'll throw exception, and here we say that only two cases. If exception is instance of the best TODO app exception, like that, we will say that yeah, let's log warning handling app exception, like that, And let's write JSON response of failure with errors from app exception, and with the code 400, and else we have no idea what happened, so we say hunting unknown exception, and write JSON response failure API errors unknown error, and we return for 500. Okay, and it should work. Okay, so we have that. We are handling exception properly. So yeah, more detailed validation, as we have described here, we do in the service layer later on. Right now we have a get and post, so I would say that we should create put. Let's create a put. So put to this path context, almost the same as post, but actually not, because here we need to take ID and the path param. So we have something like that. Use 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Okay. Actually, let's start with the tests. So let's create a test. Should update existing TODO. Something like that. So to do that, we need to actually create TODO. So TODO data, some TODO, some description, create TODO. Here we will not care about response, or actually we do care, because we need to have ID. So response, maybe create TODO response to ID, TODO ID from create response, something like that. Okay, we have ID, and we can use it to update our TODO. So let's create updated, or maybe TODO update. So changed data, and we say updated TODO, updated description, like that. And what we need to do, we need to call endpoint that we have prepared. So let's create a request, builder. Oh, actually we need to change this query here. So let's maybe add ID or additional part here, I would say. So how we can do this? Maybe to this URI additional parts, maybe something like that. And yeah, and here we will just say that we add this like that, and by default we can give it an empty string for now. So to this URI and without params. So it will behave as previously, because here we'll add empty string, so nothing. But in other case we can add something. Or maybe let's call it to append part. To append part, and here we append TODO ID. Actually, we need to also do that. So this is how, and put for the publishers JSON to the update. Okay, so here we have update request, update to response, I would say. So let's send it. Body, what it was. Body handlers of string, okay. What do we expect here, guys? We expect empty response actually. So code 200. And empty response. So API response success, and body. Yeah, we need to convert it to JSON like that. Okay, we should refactor it. We have many potential functions here. This test suite, I would say. Okay, but here it is it's updated. I think so. I would also say that we should call the get request. So yeah, let's maybe we should call the TODO's endpoint to see that indeed our TODO is updated. So let's refactor it. Update request here. Let's say get request, get response, get to this response like that, and get request. Okay, and here we care only about the body, so expected body JSON, or maybe expected to do, and we wrap it in the next line. So expected do, we only have one, but with the data that we have updated. So to do update should be like that, and here we assert that API JSON mapper to JSON API response of success expected to do, and body, and obviously it should fail. Okay. Yeah, it failed as expected because we are not doing anything here. So do we have something new here? We need to extract ID from the path. Okay. So what Javelin offers us path param as class, and it has some kind of validator. Okay. So we wrap it in our exception. Similarly to that, let's say we have an error for invalid body, and we should have error for invalid param path, something like that. Invalid param path, or maybe path param really. Like that. Okay, and let's say that we will return path param, like that. Context. Here we will expect type of this param. We catch exception. We will call path param as class. Yeah, param key to have here. Here we say param type and get, and here Javelin will throw exception if the type is not matching, and obviously it covers only primitives like long, integers, doubles, and so forth. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have it here, but you can also register your own types to validate them by Javelin, but we don't need this in our app, so let's ignore it and invalid path param, like that. Okay, so here we will just say TODO ID, like that. We have TODO ID, and we will update it, which is not that simple actually, because we have a list in memory. But let's do this anyways, because we refactor it in the next step. So let's just do something like maybe that. Yeah, we need to search for, we need to have an index for our to do. So let's do something plain and simple, like to do idx, and we will do simple for loop like that we will create our own repositories later, but we are implementing the app top down, so let's continue. If in memory TODO's ID is TODO ID, we say TODO IDX if we break. Okay, and here if TODO ID is at least 0, we will say that in memory IDs set obviously it's not thread safe or anything, but here we don't care. Yeah, and we also need to have TODO data. So JSON from body data like that. That's all. We just write JSON response, which is 200. I mean empty 200. Okay. What's wrong with that? TODO IDX is never used. Actually, it is. So why? Okay. TJ has some problems. Let's ignore it and let's run our test. Yeah, it works. So something is wrong with my TJ today. I don't know what, but yeah. Should update existing TODO. Okay, so we have that. And what else should we cover, guys? We can either create a TODO endpoint or refactor this code. Yeah, let's maybe refactor something here. So what do we have? Create TODO. Yeah, get TODOs and say that we can have a method like that for sure. So HTTP response, get TODOs, get TODOs. Let's get this code here. Like that, and let's call it get TODOs. Okay, this could stay. Here we have something different. Here we're updating, but here again we can call just get TODOs. Okay, probably something more, but we'll get there later. So yeah, but we should probably test the case of Yeah, we should. That's the case with the improper ID, or with non-existing. Maybe not. Let's just test the case with not long ID. So how we should return for exception? Let's create something similar. Should return meaningful exception given yeah, we should call it different meaningful exception given to with invalid schema while creating it, for example. So returning exception given to given invalid TODO ID while creating, while updating it. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and here we just need to say that we will update TODO, but with the ID like, I don't know, not long, xdef, for example. And besides that, we will have proper TODO. Yeah, maybe we can also create a method to I don't know. Already, no, we don't need a method for that. So let's say we need any TODO already here, so we can also say, yeah, TODO here. We will say TODO update, and let's build it, and let's call it, guys. So send body publishers, and I mean body handlers. Handlers, not that. Handlers. We should have no. How does code? HTTP response body handlers of string. Okay, and here we are expecting that we'll get 400 response. And what is our expected body? Expected body is similar to one that we had with the should returning for exception given right schema while creating it. So something like that, but with different error, so invite path param. So here we will say body, and here. Okay. Okay. So we have this. So let's implement delete also. Okay, let's hide it, and we have delete. Similar to put, we should return the same value, but so empty, and we should have the same URL but different method. So as previously, really, delete to this path, ID, and the context, and same as here, to ID. And what else? We need to basically same as here. We can copy that. We copy that because we'll rewrite it anyways. So here we just say that delete, remove to index, and the response like that. All right. So we have that, and let's create a test. We will say that how we can name it, guys? Maybe something like should delete existing TODO. Like that. Yeah, because we should update existing TODO, should delete existing TODO. So this part will be the same. Okay, so some TODO, some description, create ID, and we actually can, I would say that we should call it twice, get TODO's response. So here get TODO's response before, like that. So we have that, and then we will say delete TODO request, HTTP request, here we give it TODO ID, delete without a body, and delete TODO response. So delete TODO request, and let's assert that we got 200 here, we got response, status, and empty body. Actually, we have tested empty body a few times, I think. So maybe let's create a method out of it. Yeah, something like assert empty body. Okay, and let's call it like that. Or maybe assert empty body response. Okay. And assert empty body response. Yeah, and here we need to repeat this check. So, and this is also repeated. So we have repeated assertion that we have a list of to-dos a few times. First we are calling it here. So I would say that let's create a method like assert list of to-dos response. HTTP response, and here we will give it to-dos. Maybe assert to-dos response. Like that. Here we have that. But more like that. So expected body. Here we'll create a list of given to-dos. Like that. Yeah. And here we just need to say assert to-dos response. We have response, and we have to-dos. Yeah, like that. Okay, where we have it repeated, should update here. Instead of that, we say assert to-dos response, get to-dos response, and we have one to-do here to eliminate, like that. And where we have it, yeah, while deleting. So here we need to have get to-dos response before expected to-dos. We don't need that actually. Just need to have one object here, so it's definitely better. And yeah, here we are asserting empty body response after delete. But right now we need to call get to-dos again. Let's get to this response after, so after deleting, and assert to-dos response actually without anything. So we are expecting that we will not have any to-dos, so empty list, and it should pass. So let's see. Yeah, we have that. Okay, so we have to do deletion. So maybe let's check one exception. So similar to that, I would say should returning for exception given invalid TODO ID while deleting it. Okay, that need that. We need that, but only delete. Yeah, and the rest is the same. Yeah, and it works. So let's run all tests together. Yeah, they work. Okay. I think we have most cases. Probably I forgot about something, but mostly I think we are there. We not test filters for now, because for that we need to have a logic actually. So let's only see whether we should remove some duplication here. Okay, this seems fine. This is repeated, I would say, the 400 response and the body. So I would say that assert, let's create method assert invalid request response. Okay, so we have a response and we have expected error, like that. Expected response, really, we need to parameterize only that, something like that. Okay, so let's say that assert invalid request response. We have API errors invalid body, like that. Okay, and should update existing TODO is fine. Should returning full exception can invite TODO ID while updating it. Yeah, here we can use assert invalid request response. So response and invite path param. Yeah, like that. Definitely shorter. Here we are deleting to-dos. Okay. So here we don't need that. And maybe here we also use the assert invalid request response like previously. Okay, so this works. So I would do one more thing. So right now we have all of this code in the TODO app. Exception can be there. Maybe we can actually move it to some kind of controller. And yeah, so let's create TODO's controller, or maybe TODO controller. It will move the code there. So something like that. TODO controller, and let's just have method like int and int javelin up, and it will just make use of these endpoints. Yeah. Exception will be here. Exception will be here, some of these methods we will move also there. Yeah, we need to. Okay, I know what we will do. We will create something that HTTP functions and for stuff that should be reused, we will create we will move it there. Here let's create log also, but HTTP functions public static, we will make it reusable. Like that. Okay. We have logger here. Here we will move these two here. This we can change to path because the controller, so the context is there. Here this will be called, this we have in the HTTP functions, so let's just use them like that. HTTP functions, same here, our wrapper around this. Yeah, much cleaner, I would say. Okay, here, and we need to use HTTP functions also here. Like that. And here, start, we just need to instantiate to this controller. Yeah, to the controller, int, or let's maybe do something, let's maybe do it here. Let's see if it works as previously. Yeah, so we just have moved the utils methods to HTTP functions class, which really is the aggregate for functions. We have moved these endpoints to HTTP TODO controller, and it's much better here right now, much cleaner. Okay guys, so we have all endpoints implemented in memory. We are handling basic exceptions. We have tests for all of that, so I will call it a day. And I see you in the next one. See ya.